everybody. Kim West from the Gentle Parenting Show. And on today's episode, my guest is Lisa Mastela. And I want to read to you her bio because it's pretty darn impressive. She is a registered dietitian with a master's in nutrition and public health. She did research at the University of Washington on special needs children and type 2 diabetes, along with research on intermittent fasting at the University of Southern California. She then worked in personalized nutrition. After getting pregnant herself, she realized how difficult nutrition for expecting and new mothers is. So she founded Bumpin Blends, a company that makes and delivers dietitian-designed smoothie cubes to support the many symptoms all women go through, from headaches and bloating to anxiety and trouble sleeping. Know a lot about that one, with flavors, with everything in between. All a woman has to do is pour the Bumpin Blends cube into her blender, add liquid, and blend for a nutritious snack, and that's specific to her needs. She lives in Los Angeles with her husband and her toddler Caroline and her 7-month-old son Oliver, and she loves hiking and yoga and movie nights in. And I have to just say, well, first of all, thank you for joining me, Lisa. But I love when women see, like, there's a need, there's a hole, let me figure that out. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I love that too. Like when you see, especially moms, I think are great at that because
Yeah.
moms, save for the last 5 years or so, are such an overlooked group of people where we had so many ailments, so many annoyances for moms that we have to deal with, where whether it's, on the nursing side of things or pregnancy, it's just so many products were not designed well for moms or just not designed for moms. And so I think a lot of moms, especially recently, I'm just seeing these incredible mothers kind of going after it in the product space for targeting moms. It's great.
It is great. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your company and tell us about, what are, some of the common, I don't want to call them ailments, but symptoms that can be treated in nutrition, both in pregnancy and afterwards. And also, could I just take it too?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we started as a company specifically for pregnant women and for
Mhm,
postpartum. And
mhm.
then we were just getting so many inquiries of women who weren't pregnant or postpartum. They're like, is this safe for me to drink? Is it okay? Because
Right.
it's delicious and it's helping me. And I have headaches and I have
Yeah.
bloating and I have this and that. And it's, of course. And so we
Mhm.
actually expanded last year to serve all women. And now our smoothies are enjoyed by everyone, whether you're not a mom, whether your kids are older, whether you are a kid. We have a lot of people whose whole families drink the smoothies. We have a lot of men drinking the smoothies now. So anyone can benefit from the smoothies. The symptoms are pretty universal when it comes to like anxiety, trouble sleeping, mood swings, like all those things a lot of people experience.
Mhm.
But basically, the smoothie cubes it's a subscription based online product at bumpinblends.com. And you just go through and select whichever flavors you want. And some people choose flavors based on their symptoms, whether it's, okay, I'm having a lot of trouble with energy, I want to just choose flavors for energy or for skin health or anything. And some people choose it
Mhm.
based on their symptoms. Some people
Mhm.
choose flavors just because they like the taste of the flavors. Like we have a
Mhm.
cookie dough blend that's completely
Mhm.
vegan. We have cinnamon toast shrink, which tastes like cinnamon toast crunch cereal. We have thin mint, peanut butter cup, and then we have like fruity watermelon, pineapple, acai, like all these different flavors.
Mhm.
Um, and then you just get your box delivered to your doorstep either every 2 weeks
Mhm.
or every month. And every subscription comes with your own 24/7 nutritionist via text message, which is a really fun feature
Wow.
that our customers love. You can text with your nutritionist anytime and she'll answer any nutrition questions you have. And you pop the 6 cubes into your blender, add whatever liquid you want, and blend.
That is absolutely amazing. So what's the not so much the most popular flavor, all that would be kind of fun to know, but what do you think are the symptoms that most parents are, let's say, for now, most moms,
Mm-hmm.
either in pregnancy and postpartum, are looking to heal.
Energy. Energy is the
Hmm.
big one. That is just
Hmm.
our most popular flavors are energy flavors. And right, our most
Hmm.
popular flavor fluctuates. Right now, it's peanut butter cup,
Hmm.
which is like a chocolatey peanut butter.
Hmm.
But actually, some of our really popular sex drive is another one. We have a smoothie
Hmm.
for sex drive that we have trouble keeping it in stock because
Wow.
when it comes back, people just like scoop it up. Like, well, people buy like 20 of them in one box. Like, you guys are gonna get busy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, sex drive, energy, and then anxiety is another big one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And do they come in powder?
No, they're these little packets. They're frozen cubes, so you keep them
They
in your
are.
freezer. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't use any powders because
Hmm.
as a dietitian, I'm very conscientious of the sourcing and the
Hmm.
quality of the ingredients. And the only
Hmm.
way for our smoothies to actually work and to do what they say that they're going to do is if they're
Hmm.
made with whole real ingredients. Because
Hmm.
superfood powders can say that they're going to do all these things, but it's really the whole real food that's going to do it. And
Yeah.
so the only way for our smoothies to actually support anxiety or trouble sleeping is if we use whole real foods that are picked at peak ripeness and frozen
Hmm.
immediately.
Hmm.
So we blend it all for you, and then we pack them into. I mean, I have like a little prototype thing, but they're these little trays that look like this,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
and you just pop the cubes out into your blender and
Hmm.
add liquid and blend, so you keep it frozen.
And what about so many thoughts I have on this? So let's say you're having one on with anxiety. Maybe a
Hmm.
mom is having postpartum mood and anxiety,
Hmm.
and they've gotten, and they're getting help, hopefully, for that too. And they're taking this as part of their wellness plan. Um, is it okay to have that while breastfeeding?
Absolutely. So because
Mm-hmm.
they're whole real ingredients. I breastfeed my son, I breastfed my daughter. I drank these smoothies throughout both pregnancies, breastfeeding both kids, and then I fed them to my kids as soon as they were like 5 months old or so. So they're incredibly safe. There's nothing questionable in them. There's no added sugar, no added sweeteners, no added superfood. Is this actually healthy sweeteners?
Right.
It's just completely whole, real foods that you can pronounce and you could buy at your local farmer's market.
So they have sugar, not just added
Mm-mm.
sugar, but really?
We have
Wow.
we have two blends right now that have honey. They have a raw
Uh-huh.
organic honey, and for those, I
Mhm.
don't recommend giving it to a baby under one, of course.
Mhm.
But just raw organic honey is the only sugar, and it's just in two of our 27 flavors. So the only way that they're sweetened is with dates or nuts. They're
Mhm.
really really natural.
And so the things that are helping with sleep and anxiety are obviously sounds like they're natural.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
for instance, the sleep blend, there is natural melatonin in a specific strain of dark cherry,
Mhm.
and then basil, holy basil actually also has natural melatonin in it, and bananas have magnesium in it, which can help relax your muscles and kind of calm your mind. And
Mhm.
so, if you were to eat a banana by itself, you don't really feel those effects. Like
Right.
it's just a banana.
Right.
And if you were to eat some cherries by itself, well, you don't really feel the effects. But
Mhm.
if you take cherries, the dark cherries that with the natural melatonin at peak ripeness, right off the plant, freeze it immediately, mix it with concentrated holy basil and some banana, that's going to actually get you to sleep. Like that will feel like we've
Right.
had people compare that smoothie blend to Ambien. Like it really, you really feel the
Wow.
effects of that. But it's
Uh-huh.
just cherries and basil and banana.
I love that. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so amazing. And so are you going to do you ship just within the United States right now?
We do. We ship within the United
Uh-huh.
States. Right now,
Uh-huh.
we don't ship to Alaska or Hawaii, but we
Mhm.
have had a lot of special orders in Hawaii. So a lot of our customers will specifically request, can I please get a bundle to Hawaii, and we can work with them on a basis like that. But yeah.
Mhm.
most of the
And
time.
so this is amazing to me, the also this 24/7 nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some things that a parent can be asking and get from them?
Anything. Anything. Our nutritionists are so generous with their time and energy. It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
We've had people ask them for recipe ideas. We've had people ask them for ideas with their kids and trying to get their kids to eat more healthy foods. For postpartum weight loss, we've had lots of questions for support around that. And
So
then
not just in terms of your blends.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Although they do, I mean, the majority of the questions that people ask are about the blends, and
Uh-huh,
so
sure.
they kind of act as like a concierge. So your nutritionist
Hmm.
could skip your next bundle for you. She can edit your flavors. She can do all of
Right.
that, but then she also is available as a resource.
Uh-huh. And so I guess if you're giving these to a baby, you're putting them in those like pouches that they
Yeah,
can
you
drink
can.
from?
My kids, I would literally just give them one of the cubes and they'd
Uh-huh.
suck on it and play with it, and it was almost like a teether for them because it's frozen, so
Right.
it feels good. But it was great to know that when that melted they were getting all those incredible ingredients. And
Hmm.
I would give the sleep one to my daughter before bed all the
Hmm.
time, and it like really, I highly recommend that.
Hmm. Do you have a certain age? Like, don't give it before a certain
No,
age?
it's just cherries and basil and
Yeah.
banana. Yeah,
Because it's also natural melatonin. It's
it's
not like
completely
going
natural.
over the counter that's not regulated.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not a
Hmm.
supplement. We don't put any added weird things like that in our blends at all. Like
Hmm.
I'm the founder. I give him to my kids.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
So I really am so impressed with the 24/7 nutritionist. That's fantastic because so often we do have questions,
Hmm.
and and then if I always hear that my child will only eat like the white foods, and the
Yeah.
whatever macaroni and cheese, the pasta, the rice, chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
whatever.
And you think
So,
it's going to be forever and they're never going to eat healthy food, or you don't. And
yeah.
then one source tells you hide it. The other, source says don't
Hmm.
ever hide healthy foods from kids, in terms of
Hmm.
hide it as in like, sneak it into their foods. And
Yeah.
it's nice. That's why I made it 24/7, because often as moms, like the 9 to 5, reach out to our customer service, email us. Like that is just, we can't do that. We're busy. We're all over the place,
Right.
and these questions, these ideas, these thoughts, they come to us and it's often so fleeting. Like it comes to
Right.
us and then we have to change a diaper, or somebody threw up on somebody else. And it having the 24/7 text message makes it so that when you're nursing in the middle of the night and this concern or this idea pops into your head and you're like, I wish I
Yeah.
had an expert answer, you can literally text our nutritionist at 3 in the morning and get an expert answer. Um,
Hmm.
and so it's just nice to know that there's that kind of support of like, I have this really random question or this idea, and I just need
Right.
somebody's help.
Amazing. So I might take you off course here with this question,
No.
but we see things go in and out of fashion over the years, particularly around nutrition, but really all things baby. And there's so many changing thoughts about not only when to introduce solids, but what solid to introduce.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have any thoughts about that,
I
the
do.
what
I mean,
solids to start with.
I'm a dietitian and a mom, so I have lots of strong opinions about all of this. But
Hmm.
and it's so tough because nutrition is kind of seen as this fad cultural topic, and it's not.
Uh-huh.
It's science. it's
Right.
it's if you can get
Yeah.
a master's in it, you can get a PhD in it. Why is it like a pop culture thing?
Right.
But it's just so, it's
It's funny.
frustrating.
It's
And
true.
it's very generational too. Like my
Hmm.
mom was like, rice cereal, put rice cereal in their bottles, and I'm like,
Right.
Jesus, I can't handle the rice cereal anymore. um and I've never given either one of my kids rice cereal. I've never touched it.
Uh-huh.
So as a parent, I think there's a few things to consider. One is, what works for you. Because if you're the kind of mom who is like, I want to feed my kids exclusively organic, we're going to go all homemade, we're yada yada, that is fantastic. That's amazing. Gold standard, gold star, great.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of moms can't do that. Or
Mm-hmm.
whether we work or we don't have the time or the energy or we don't enjoy it, it's going to affect our mental health,
Mm-hmm.
then don't. And so same with everything really, of, whether it's baby led weaning or
Mm-hmm.
purees, you have to do what works for you and what works
Yep.
for your lifestyle.
Right.
I'm a big fan of moderation in terms of don't do anything 100%, do everything kind of 50%.
Mm-hmm.
So like for my kids, with my daughter, I had just started Bumpin Blends, and so I wasn't so busy. I was more like trying to do this sort of startup side hustle thing,
Mm-hmm.
and versus with my son, I'm the CEO of a much bigger company, a very different beast. So
Mm-hmm.
my daughter had a lot more baby led weaning, homemade baby food, like a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
My son has more purees, more, not as homemade, and a lot of other people feed him sometimes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of, I guess, a very long-winded answer to this question, but I think as a mom, you have to put your own mental health first when it comes to feeding.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
do what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of first foods, I think
Mm-hmm.
exposing them to a wide variety of flavors is great and preferred. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a fan of the boring rice cereal or the unflavored XYZ and single food. I think just give them all the foods. Whatever you're eating for dinner, give it to them in some kind of form that is safe.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm making my family pasta for dinner, I'll give my son the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. He'll have like a
Mm-hmm.
bolognese sauce for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if we're all eating oatmeal for breakfast, he gets oatmeal too. So,
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
like that. I like that. So skipping now to something else you said, how are you doing all of that? Raising two kids, the CEO of a big company, working part-time from home, full, like in and out of the
Bouncing
pandemic
between
and like
meetings.
goodness. Yeah.
It's a juggle, it's a balance.
Uh-huh.
I think that, like I said, prioritizing my own mental health has been really huge for me.
Yeah.
Um, Having my husband's support and being able to tag team, being able to hire help, has all been huge. The pandemic was interesting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and certainly was a juggle, and it was a balance for us because we
Yeah.
couldn't have any help with our kids, and my
Yeah.
daughter had a nanny, but we ended up, it was basically, I was super pregnant, the company was growing fast, my daughter was not in any kind of preschool or
Right.
childcare, and I
Mm-hmm.
was at home with her just trying to make it work. And so it was a lot of late nights, early mornings,
Yeah.
um,
Yep.
and just sort of throwing the norm out the window when it came to schedule. So it
Mm-hmm.
would very much be like I'd wake up at 4 or 5, I'd get to work and like hustle work until, 9, when my husband would have to go to start his work day, and he
Yeah.
would, play with her from when she woke up until 9. Then I'd have
Right.
her, and then, she'd have a nap time midday, I'd work, and,
Yeah.
just sort of balancing,
Yeah.
juggling the schedules. Like
Exactly.
today, my husband had a meeting
Mm-hmm.
from 9 to 10. I have this, so we
Mm-hmm.
just sort of take turns.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
And what about since you're a nutritionist or a dietitian, I should say, registered dietitian, what does that mean for dinner at your house?
Great question. I do get this question a lot. Like I said, I'm a fan of moderation. I think that the healthiest, most sustainable, best way to eat as a human should be plant based, as plant based
Mm-hmm.
as possible, as vegan as
Mm-hmm.
possible, but without the plant based design products that are being sold.
Mm.
So, for instance, the fake meat burgers, all that stuff, we don't touch
Yeah.
that. Um,
Uh-huh.
but we try to eat as plant based as possible. We're not by any means vegan, but at
Mm-hmm.
home we try and cook vegan. Um, so dinner at our house is usually, I make a lot of like homemade sauces that are very veggie heavy. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll take like kitchen sink vegetables, toss them in a pan with some olive oil and, a little bit of tomato sauce. And that's
Mm-hmm.
on whole wheat pasta is very popular dinner at our house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lots of tacos,
Mm-hmm.
lentils. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that jazz.
Yeah.
And usually like big kitchen sink stuff. I love cooking and love being in the kitchen. So we do a lot of like, yeah, a lot of homemade meals.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's I always say to my girlfriends that I don't, I'm a good event cooker,
Mm-hmm.
right? Give me a holiday, give me a party, and I'm all for cooking. To me, just hated that it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
What are we gonna eat?
Yeah, I can see that. I think yeah, a lot of
That
people
sort
share
of
that.
that kind of daily drudgery, but
Because it feels like another thing to do. It feels like,
yeah.
you're working and then
Hmm.
it's 4 p.m. It's like, oh man, everybody's going to be hungry in a couple hours. What's the plan? It's like you kind
Right.
of have to think about it a lot. And I think
Hmm.
I'm really grateful and very lucky that I kind of enjoy that. Like I enjoy the experimental kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I can throw together something pretty
You're
quickly
probably
and it
pretty good
tastes
at it.
good. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it certainly hasn't always been that way. I actually didn't even start cooking at all until grad school. So it was
Oh.
like I remember the days when it was not that simple and easy. Like when I would think like, yeah, I'm gonna make this great recipe and it tastes awful, like just
Right.
awful. Um, but yeah, and that's the thing too. Like with cooking and with motherhood and everything and food, you have to do what works for you. Like even though
Yeah.
we do this, it sounds very idyllic that we eat this lovely vegan dinner every night. It doesn't happen every single night. We
Right.
absolutely order in takeout and we absolutely eat meat and dairy in certain situations. Like
Yeah.
we have dinner at my parents' house probably a couple nights a week, and they
Hmm.
are by no means vegan and they will not eat vegan. and
Right.
and so yeah, we will absolutely eat whatever they serve us and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's about moderation. It's about doing what works for you, that you feel good about your
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
They don't give you anxiety or make you feel pressure in any way. Is like
Hmm.
that's the most important part.
Well, we're totally aligned with that. Hence the gentle parenting show, because so
Exactly.
much for me is even like, in sleep coaching is about, the middle road.
Mhm.
I think the middle road is often a good one, you know?
Absolutely. I could
Yeah.
not agree more. Yeah, and I mean, with both my kids had postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And
Hmm.
it really wasn't until my son where I was like, this this has to be it has to come first.
Hmm.
Like if you as a mom are not feeling um your best, you just need to fix that first.
Yeah, we talked on another episode with Dr. Shosh, who's a postpartum mood and anxiety expert. And we talked about that, like the whole family is important in the health. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how essential that is. So, well, thank you for starting Bumping Blends. I'm going to go check it out and place an order. And I know you said that you were going to give us a coupon code so that
Yeah.
customers can go check that out. So we'll post that on sleeplady.com/podcast for this episode with Lisa. And in there, you'll see links to her site and her bio, and you can go check out and get your own bumping blends, not just for you, but your whole family. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to share a code with you guys and
Hmm.
get to know you a bit. So definitely reach out to us on Instagram or on our site, and I'll make sure you guys all get a really good discount.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.